before 5 months, you'll get yourself with the 10,000 fish. This is Kamudanga Farm, where we are involved in doing fish production, although we also do other ventures, agriculture-related ventures. We have pig farming, we have poultry, we have dairy, but fish is the main
it's the primary business of this farm.
Yes,
because I've seen you have pigs, like amazing pigs. You have dairy cows. I've seen you have a restaurant route.
Yes, we have a restaurant.
I've seen you have quite a good plantation of bananas and vegetables. So you might be doing horticulture. We'll get back to that, and you'll tell us how the system coexists with the horticulture. Yeah, amazing. Now, tell us how this farm started, okay? And the most interesting thing I want to know, being in a place that is very dry in Africa, one of the driest places in Kenya, Machakos. Like, I mean, the last thing that somebody could be thinking about being here is fish, because a joke is made that people from here, the Kamba people, the largest amount of volume of water they have ever seen is water in a basin. You see? So how did it come for you, for like the farm? How did it start? What inspired it?
That's a very good observation. Yes, the farm is located in Kenya, Machakos. Machakos is semi-arid, one of those semi-arid counties within the country. Water is not that much available
in this place.
And the farm entirely depend on borehole water. That doesn't mean that the borehole water is a lot. No, it's not a lot. So the little that we get, we have compensated that by incorporating one of the best aquaculture production system in the world. These systems are known as RAS system, RAS, recirculating aquaculture system. They are game changers for areas where water is not that available, because we all know fish live in water. The environment of fish is water. And for that matter, it should be quality. So that you get a quality product at the end of the day, and also fish to be comfortable in the water. So it's an issue of quantity and quality of this water. So quantity, because we don't have that much, we brought in this technology, the RAS systems, where we are able to reduce water use compared to other systems like pond system. We have reduced our water need or our water demand by over 90%. So we are able to produce a lot of fish. And to put it into context, Kamudanga Farm is one of the largest farms in Eastern Central Africa in terms of our production. This year we are targeting to produce around 100 tons of fish. That's 100,000 kilograms. And this puts us in a position among the biggest inland aquaculture facility in Eastern Central Africa in terms of our production. So we are able to maximize on two things. One, the resources, which is the water as a resource, because after production through the fish, the water goes to crop farming. So we add value to this water. The other thing we're able to maximize on is land. The farm is only on 1 acre piece of land, and on this 1 acre piece of land, we're only able to utilize around 80% of that 1 acre, but still we're able to produce a lot of fish. So we put a lot of fish in a very small area, use this system, and we get very high produce. So it's a perfect system for this kind of a setup. Semi-arid areas.
And now there's something else. Now the view of Africa out there is that Africa is usually a place that is arid, desert and such. Now there's a lot of places in Africa where it's cool. Leave alone that. Now if you're thinking of coming to Africa, there is also a lot of places that is dry, like Machakos. And there's something that you are capitalizing on in this area, like the sun and the warmth. Tell us something about the species that you have here and the sun and the warmth that comes with being that dry.
Yes, Kenya is one of those countries that are on the equator.
Yeah.
To put it in that way,
yeah.
Because the equator passes through Kenya.
Yeah.
And this tells you that Kenya is one of those countries that experience the sun throughout the year. And also we have there's a balance between daylight and night light. So Kenya is within the tropics. What this has as an advantage is that we are able to get proper temperatures for keeping the species that we keep. So we keep fish can be categorized in terms of climate. We have warm climate fish and we have cold climate fish. So for the warm climate fish, these are fish that are found within the tropics naturally. The likes of tilapia, catfish, and some other species of warm ornamental species. So we can comfortably keep this in the farm. The other thing that you need to understand, the biological aspect of it, is fish are cold-blooded. Cold-blooded means that their body temperature is highly influenced by the environmental temperature. What that means is fish cannot regulate, cannot do thermoregulation. It cannot control the body temperature. Unlike we are warm-blooded, meaning when it gets to around temperature fall even to around 20 degrees, your body temperature is still around 37
it's
degrees.
Able to be maintained
at 37, irrespective of what the environmental temperature is. We are able to control and regulate our body temperature, but fish cannot do that. So if you put fish in 20 degrees temperature, their body temperature is 20 degrees. If you put them in 30 degrees, their body temperature is 30 degrees. So we have to understand that temperature is directly proportional to growth of fish. And this being a commercial farm, our target is to grow these fish in a very short time. And one of the factors that we must consider is temperature. So the farm being in Kenya and in Machakos, we experience very good sun, and this sun is able to be transferred in different systems. Like now you can see in the hatchery for the brood stock, we use solar water panels. Where we have the mature fish, or where we are growing them to maturity, we have the greenhouse effect to bring in the warmth. So the sun rays get into the building, into the warehouse, and though they are transformed into heat, and that heat is kept within the system, and then it transferred into the water through a physics concept, equilibrium concept, where the heat is transferred now from the ambient air to the water, and now we are able to achieve the required temperature for fish growth, which is 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. An average of around 27 degrees, you are okay. When you go below this or higher than this range, you have issues, and this will have a direct impact to your fish, whether it's growth or survival of your fish. So we are able to maximize also on the sun that we get to achieve proper temperatures, right from the parents all the way to the mature fish within our system.
Wow, that is incredible. You mentioned people literally flocked here for the fish. And being in Machakos, being in a dry place where like sometimes it could be hard to find vegetables like grains and such. Could you say that this farm, like by virtue of it being built here, could you say that it has really empowered this community in terms of food security, and furthermore employment? And then there's something else that we're going to come to. I mean, that was then when you're having like a small colonial pond and people are flocking. And then what about now when you have these big systems and the technology? And I've been here for 2 days. I've seen the number of people who are flocking here. So that's something that is agricultural tourism.
Agro-tourism,
right?
let me start with the first issue that you mentioned on in terms of food security in this community. The vision of this farm, by the time it was by the time we were getting to around 2013, 2014, it totally changed, and we thought of providing fish as a source, an extra source of protein to this community, and also to the local populace, because since it's a semi-arid area, production of protein-related food source becomes a challenge, because keeping animals is a challenge. Producing farm produce is also a challenge. So the farm, and also now quality protein, which being white meat other than the red meat, is also another issue. So the farm being here has impacted this community. One, they were not fish eating community. It's not among the fish eating community in Kenya.
Culture.
Yes, their culture. So this has changed. People can now just stop here at the sales office, buy fish at an affordable price. Within this community, and now we can confidently say in the last 10 years that this society has changed to a fish eating community, because we have the restaurant, and 90% of our clients, if it's not 95%, is the Kamba people who have really supported us. And these are the people now coming here with their families. They sit at the restaurant, they enjoy the fish, they take some home, whether fried or raw fish, they take them home. So they have interacted with fish, the farm has exposed fish to them, and now they are okay with it, and now they can eat it. The other issues of agro-tourism, because of also the technology that we use here, this has attracted a lot of visitors within the country, nationally, regionally, and also internationally. People come in here to see this technology because it's an amazing technology, and this is the way to go when we talk about fish production, because of the advantages of maximizing on your input to get very high output. Yes, so this has been a very good site for this, and we have also improved the facility and developed it further, so that we're able to accommodate this other channel, which is the agro-tourism. We have accommodation within the facility.
Exactly.
We have very nice sitting area, scenery, very good scenery. You can come here for sport fishing after your visit. We have an aquaculture academy where we can train you about the system. We can take you through the whole process of fish production in the whole value chain of it. So we are developing also towards that channel. We are also working with Kenya Tourism Board and bringing in visitors across board, so that we are able to expose them to this kind of farming.
You mentioned sport fishing.
Yes.
You know, Africans don't fish, okay? Like white people are the people who are, no offense, are the people who fish, okay? So, me included, what is sport fishing?
Sport fishing is where now the dam, because now it's not the primary source of our fish for the market.
Right now,
we have the farm now producing the fish for the market. But the dam being there, and it's a good ecosystem, we try to make it very natural. So we have stocked in a lot of tilapia and a lot of catfish for over years. So we have very big fish in the dam. The catfish can range even to around 10 kilos. So we have that facility for sport fishing, where you can come with your hook and line, the rod and the reels.
Now that sport fishing is where you take the rod, like you sit there, then
you catch the fish, you harvest the fish. There are those who take it back. There are those now, they are very excited. This is my effort. I've gotten the fish. I can carry it home. So you can come and do that for yourself.
You get the feeling of hunting now, from hunting, washing, cooking. Amazing.
So you have it as for that purpose.
Wow, amazing. Now, let's come to this. Like, there's some serious infrastructure here, and I understand it's been a work of over 10 years, right? But then there's serious infrastructure. Like, what does it take, okay? What does it take to run like a massive farm like this, okay? The electricity, like the water bills, the human, the resources, and then after that, tell us now how this farm is segmented and how now you said you operate the whole chain, okay? Tell us from the fishery, from the fingerlings, how you produce them, how you breed them, to everything. Now let's start with the infrastructure and what it takes.
Yes, so this farm having this system, the RAS system, the RAS system, there is a combination of two career line. One is aquaculture, where is the production of fish and a control system. Two is engineering. Engineering aspect, where you understand the fluid mechanics, how to water will flow in pipes, how air flows in pipe, and how you can release air in the water and all that. The main purpose of bringing this together is to give fish a healthy environment. So when we talk of a healthy environment, is we say the water should have enough oxygen, the water should have the right temperature, the right pH, less of nitrogen based waste. This is nitrogen, ammonia, and nitrite. We talk of turbidity. Turbidity is the suspended solids in the water. We talk of we also talk of CO2 levels in the water. So water hardness, alkalinity, there are those parameters. So this system has been brought about to make sure all these parameters are within range. And when you have all of them within range, we say that that environment is healthy for the production of fish. So some of these parameters, to bring them to these ranges, you have to incorporate machinery, you have to incorporate different technologies so that you achieve the parameters being in range. For example, we have huge air blowers to pump in air, which is 21% oxygen, and add this oxygen or aerate the water for the fish to take in this oxygen. Because we farm a lot of fish in a very small area. For example, one of our grow-out tank is around 50 square meters. In 50 square meters, we're able to stock 6,000 pieces of fish with a stocking density of around 120 fish per meter squared. So for every 1 meter squared or 1 meter cube, we are able to put 120 fish. In traditional farming, 1 meter squared, you're supposed to put 4 fish. But for us, we're able to put 120. So because we have that high stocking density, we'll have to incorporate machines for this. So the investment cost or the capital expenditure in putting up this kind of a farm will be high. Very high. But the returns at the end of the day, because fish farming, we have two kinds of cost. We have the capital expenditure and we have the operation cost. So the capital expenditure is very high. After you have put up your structure using this capital expenditure, now you come to grow the fish. Now you need the operation cost. Operation cost is paying the energy to run these machines. You'll also pay for feed. You need to feed your fish. You also pay for the water that you are putting your fish in. You also pay for the labor. The people who are working daily to carry out the daily operation. Yes, so there's that operation cost, and then now after you have operated your system, our cycles are around 4 months. We grow 50 to 500 grams in 4 months. So we harvest the fish. Now when we sell the fish, we're able to pay back the operation cost and also some return on investment, and we say this kind of a system will get you over 35 to 40% margins in your. So yes, the capital expenditure is high, but the returns is high. So there are very few businesses that will give you 35 to 40% profit margin, especially agriculture related project. Yes. So yes, on infrastructure, yes, it's a bit technical, and you need to have technical expertise for you to operate and also to install the system. But they work miracles.
Now I see you have hatchery.
Yes,
It's called a hatchery, right?
Yes, the hatchery.
Fingerlings, and you produce
now the steps. So yeah.
Now you have hatchery,
nursery.
You have these two sets of rooms, where you're having like the machines and it's doing all kinds of crazy stuff and bubbles. Then you're having these other two sets of huge ponds outside here. So take us through that and the functions of everything.
Yes, so the farm is broken down in sections. So we have the very initial, because we're involved in the whole value chain of tilapia production. So it all starts with the parents. So where you're keeping your parent fish, we call them broodstock tanks. So the brooders, these are the parents. So the broodstock tanks, they have, every system have its own requirement, environmental requirement. Like now for the parents, they will never breed when temperatures are below 24 degrees. So you have to have a system to warm that water for them throughout the season, because you want to produce eggs or fingerlings throughout the season. You don't have the laxity of saying, oh, it's the cold season, it's June, July and August. Hey, let's stop producing fingerlings because now is the cold season. Here in we are the farm is around the sea level altitude. Our altitude is around 1600 meters above sea level, and being this high, we also experience seasonality. Like now we are in the month of August. We are moving out of winter. Let me call it winter. It's not. It's like it's the coldest. It's the coldest season. We have 3 months that are very cold in Africa. Yes, like now in this tank during this winter of ours, the temperature will fall to around 15 degrees on average. 15 degrees Celsius. Yes, that's way much low for fish. Especially for production, you can't even grow them at those temperatures because they will not even eat. But out of these 3 months, now we experience summer, and we have the warmest period, and the temperature will average around 26 degrees. 26 degrees. Yes. So each system have its own requirement. Like for the example I gave you of temperature. So the parents will have its own accompanying facilities, supporting facilities to provide this requirement for the parents. So we have the broodstock tanks. From the broodstock tanks, now we go to the hatchery. The main purpose of the hatchery is to receive fish eggs from the parents, incubate the eggs, and rear them to the recommended size that you sell to farmers. Yes. Before we forget, get the eggs from the fish. Now you mentioned something to me that I found it was really peculiar. Like these fish, they lay eggs and then they incubate the eggs them in the mouth. Yes, like, that's tilapia. The tilapias do that. Then you have to go take the fish, remove the eggs, and then now go hatch them. Yes. So what happens, the operation of it in that broodstock system, first of all, it's also related to the size of the pond that you have. So for every 1 meter squared, you're supposed to put 4 fish. And for these 4 fish, you put them in the ratio of 1:3. 1 male, 3 female. Yes. So that's the stocking density for broodstock tank. You put 1 male, 3 females. So the males are territorial. They command a territory within the tank, which can be, depending with the size of the male, can be on an average around 1 meter radius territory. So within the territory, we go an extra mile because we have put them on concrete tank and provided housing for them. Yes. So there are those who have bed sitters, there are those who have 1 bedroom. You can see the piping work. So we provide that housing. So the housing is where they will go and breed. Naturally, in the lake and the rivers, they will make the nest themselves. But this housing is a nest that you have provided because we are growing the fish on concrete tank, and they cannot do the nesting in this concrete tank. So the fish, when the males are ready to breed, they change their color to pink or red. So that's a sign that they are on heat. No, those are the males. The males. They actually look even more beautiful than the females. And there's something like
all in the kingdom Animalia, all males look beautiful, right? Right? And when I say even human beings, men are beautiful, they're like, oh, you, we have to question you. No, it's just natural. Yeah, you see, even the abs look so beautiful. Okay, they change color.
Yes. So in fish society, male do the makeup.
Wow.
Yes. So they'll be very good looking. That pink color shouting, or the red color shouting. Then the female will choose which male they will go
attractive.
To. Yes, and they will go to. So they will go to that male. We have documented it. They will code for around 2 hours. So they're interacting, the male and the female, and then the female have known the size of the territory, the area. She'll be cleaning, carrying dirty from the area, and then when she's comfortable, she'll get into the house and lay eggs. There are those who choose to lay eggs even outside in the compound. The others who choose to go into the housing, they lay eggs. After laying eggs, the male follows, fertilizes the eggs externally. Then the female collects all the eggs and put them in her mouth.
Oh, so that's the point where they put them in the mouth
for incubation. And that's why tilapia are known as mouth brooders.
Wow.
The ability of them brooding or incubating the eggs in the mouth.
Wow.
Yes, so the eggs will stay in the mouth for, if it's on a natural system, for around 21 to 28 days. So they hatch. After hatching, they're still taken good care of within the mouth. They can pray outside there, and then when danger comes and they run, they swim into the mouth again, and the mother take care of them. But now for us, because we have an artificial fish egg incubator, we go in when they're around day 10, and we remove the eggs and we incubate the eggs on their behalf.
Wow. So how many more days does it have to take in the incubator for them to hatch?
Around 7 days.
Oh, so 7 days they hatch. 17 days hatch.
Yes.
So after 10 days you take them from the mom.
Yes, we incubate. But even as you're collecting them from the mouth, they're in different stages, egg stages. So depending with when the female, the eggs were fertilized. There are those that will be fertilized day 1 after the previous collection. The others will be fertilized day 5 after previous collection. So you will get them in different stages. So we separate them in these stages and we incubate them according to these stages.
Wow.
So when we have incubated them, depending on the stage again, the one that had stayed more days will hatch faster than the one that had stayed less days in the mouth of the mother. So and then now they will hatch very fast in the incubators. We give them 2 days. They normally have an orange ball with them to completely feed on the egg yolk, and then now we move them to the blue tank system where we rear them as swim-ups and grow them to around 1 gram size. 1 gram is almost 2 inches, and this is the recommended size that we sell to farmers at Kenya shillings, 10 shillings as a seed or as a fingerling to go and stock in their system for further production.
Exactly.
One thing that you should note also, in tilapia production, you should keep male fish only. You're not supposed to grow male and female in a production system together.
Why?
Because they will, the males grow very fast and they get very big. Because the female is always having the eggs in the mouth, they're not feeding. So the male, for him, he doesn't have the eggs in the mouth, he will be feeding and he will grow very fast. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is when you have them mixed, they end up becoming a reproduction system other than a production system. So they will always breed and the numbers will increase. So if you have this tank and you're supposed to put 500, so with time, they're increasing and getting more and more. In 4, 5 months, you'll get yourself with the 10,000 fish, and the fish are not growing; they're very small inside. So how do you remedy that? So there are different ways you can use for you to get an all-male population, because we all know when a normal male breeds with a normal female, the chance of getting a boy or a girl is 50-50. The probability is 50-50 to get male or female. So for them, for the fish, you can do something that is known as hand sexing. Hand sexing is where you allow the young ones to grow to a stage where you can tell apart a male from a female. So you get into your stock, they have they have become of age. You get in there, you select. So this a male you put kando, this a female you put aside, this a male you put aside, this a female you put aside. And now you take the males and you go and produce them now to maturity and you sell. And now the female now you can discard all, have a way of doing away with them. But now that one is time consuming, is tedious, very stressful to fish. You have to handle every fish, checking at the genitalia. It's have a lot of work. It's not the best. So we don't do that ourselves. The other thing you can do is sex reversal. They are born female and you convert their sex to male.
How can you do? I think only God can do that. How do you do that?
Don't call us God.
No, only God. How can you reverse like something that nature has made? Anyway, let's move on because of time. Okay?
Yes. Sex reversal. It's only possible in tilapia because when tilapia fish are less than 8 days old, their sex is not determined. They are neither male nor female. So they normally have the hormone, sex determining hormone, in a sac within the digestive system. So when they're moving to the 8th day, the sac opens and the content of the sac determines their sex. So if it's testosterone, there will be more, they are male. If it's estrogen, they are female.
So what do you do now?
So what you do,
male or female?
From day 5, people go and buy synthetic male hormone. And they start feeding the fish with this synthetic male hormone. So what you're doing to the female, you're causing hormonal imbalance.
So you give the
increasing the testosterone levels.
You're increasing the testosterone in male and estrogen in female.
No. For the female now, because I've gone and bought the male hormone alone. You're not buying both. You just feed them the male hormone.
So you give them testosterone and then majority will turn to male.
So the hormone itself is known as 17 alpha methyl testosterone. It's mixed with the feed and fed to the fish. And now the fish, the testosterone level in the female goes high. So they become outwardly female, but genetically they are male. No. It's vice versa. They become outwardly male but genetically they are female. Now this female that is masculine because Kamodanga farm don't do that. We don't use this synthetic hormone. There are a lot of research on the impact of this, especially in the environment. If you release this fish into the environment, they have their impact because these are XX, but they are males. When they breed with a normal female that is XX, you get all young ones to be female. Now that's a challenge in nature.
It becomes counterproductive.
Yes. You'll never
ecosystem.
Yes. And also the impact of this hormone also is not well researched on. So Kamodanga, we don't do those synthetic. We don't do hand sexing, we don't do hormonal sex reversal. We do the latest technology. It's known as YY technology. YY technology, these are super males. So they don't have the X chromosome with them. So when a YY breed with a normal female that is XX, you get all your young ones XY,
male.
All of them male. And we call them natural male tilapia because they are born or they are sired naturally, and you get
genetically they are males. Wow, that is incredible. Now you have this this room here where you have a lot of machines. This is where you do the growing.
So from the hatchery, we bring the fish to the nursery, and then now from the nursery they come to the growth section. So the growth section, we bring them when they're 50 grams, and they stay there for 4 months. They grow to half a kilo. And then we sell. So basically the system in the growth section, it gives the fish all the environmental requirements. So you will see we have very unique roofing system to bring in the temperature. We have oxygen pump to pump in air, which is 21% oxygen. We also have filters. Like in the center of the tank, we have a filter we call biofilter or bioreactor. A bioreactor is where we convert the nitrogenous waste of fish, which is ammonia, to to nitrate, which is less toxic to fish. Ammonia is very toxic
to fish.
One tank we stock 6,000 pieces, and it's 50 square meters. So if everyone release the ammonia, the accumulation of this is very toxic to the fish. You will lose all your fish in minutes. So we need to have the filter to convert the ammonia into nitrate. Then we have another system that filters out the solid waste, the fecal matter, or the excess feed. So when you feed your system, so there are those solids. So we have a system that filters that, and then after 2-3 days, the system is cleaned. All this goes to crop farming, and then the filtration starts again. So with that, we have given the fish all the environmental requirement. We are left with now the nutritional requirement. So we get our feed, quality feed. We have been importing from Egypt, but now we can source quality feed from one of the companies here. They are making equally quality feed. So we feed our fish, and in 4 months, we're able to get the fish from 50 grams to 500 grams. We have to bring the taste back on by purging the fish. So we bring the fish outside, we starve them for at least 7 days before we take them to the market.
So the thing that makes them sweet is starving.
Yes, starving, and also the miracle of the sun.
Oh, yes, exposure to weather,
to the sun. Yes. We lose a little bit of their weight, biomass, but it is worth the quality that we get. We have a very good reception for our fish. In fact, one of the retail markets, people go there and request this Kamudanga fish. We're even thinking of branding the fish and putting a brand on it, because now there has been people are short-changing us, selling other fish as Kamudanga.
Yes, now, which is like a trademark. No, is it a trademark or
yes, we have
design?
Where we have patent. We have mark of quality, because we want to produce the best quality fish in the market. And through this, we have to adhere to certain standards. And one of these standards is, in 2019, Kamudanga received a certificate from African Organization for Standardization, ARSO. We achieved platinum level. There were over 300 points that we had to tick correct for us to achieve this. And this standard that focuses on production. Are we producing in a way that we're interfering with the environment, and also is the fish fit for human consumption? And we attained platinum level, the highest level. So we have this certificate. We also work with the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, where we take our fish. We also work with Kenya Fisheries Service, where they come and collect the fish for sampling, and then they give us the feedback, and we still achieve these standards. So for us and for fish, we assure our clients that they are able to get quality fish that is fit for human consumption without any hazard, and it's also with high nutrition value in it.
Wow, amazing. So you're saying you're looking, actually the right term is patent.
Patent is more of other manufactured goods, but when it comes to agriculture, we don't say more of patent, because it's a consumable good. This is something that
so it's kind of like a standard and a reputation. Amazing. Managing a farm like this could be arduous or challenging. Like so how if someone is thinking of having a farm like this, so share with us, like, how is your routine? How does your routine look like?